Welcome back, Let's Tab 59. Hello troops, thanks for coming back to the channel again. Thank you for your support as always. It's really encouraging now. Thank you so much. So today, what are we going to talk about? Well, I want to talk to you about shooting, and I want to talk to you about your grouping. Those of you just starting out may not know too much about grouping. You've got to conquer grouping. You've got to get good grouping before you can really properly zero your rifle or your pistol. When we're talking about rifles, I'll be talking about rifles with optics when I'm talking about the grouping today. It's not much difference with iron sights, but we're going to talk about optics because most people shoot with optical sights. Okay, so this is aimed at beginners, people that don't know a lot about grouping, and I'm going to try and guide you through where you might be going wrong with your group patterns. And I've got a few examples to show you. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to show you a few groups, a few examples of groups and where they've gone wrong. And if you've got these types of groups, how you can resolve that and tighten your groups up so you can then go on to zero your rifle correctly. So let's just turn you around and we'll take a look. Okay then, so let's go over here, and what we'll do, what we'll do is we'll look at the first grouping pattern, which is the wide group. We're talking at 25 meters here. So you can see the rounds have been fired in the order they're numbered in. Number 1 down the bottom left there, and so on, 2, 3, 4, and at the bottom 5. And that's a wide group because it's spread quite wide out. You can't zero really from that group, it's too wide. So what's caused it? What's caused it is a variation in the holding and aiming of the rifle. So what's happened is between the shots, the position has been moved. It's a variation in the way you've been holding the firearm and the way you've been aiming. Remember, the point of aim is always going to be the centre of the target. Even if you fire your first round and it lands where number 4 is now, you still aim, sorry, where number 1 is, you still aim at the centre of the target. Ignore where that first round lands. Keep your aim on the target consistent so you can see where your rounds are falling. There, after that, you can go on to zeroing the rifle. So a wide group then, the problem with that is variation, hold and aim. Let's go on to the split group now. This is a split group. You can see there's 2 distinct split groups. There's one over on the left, right rounds 1 and 2, shots 1 and 2, and on the right there you've got shots 3, 4 and 5. So there's 2 groups, they've split. Not a lot of help, because how would you zero from that? And what's caused it? Well, I'll tell you what's caused it. It's a change in the position after the second shot. So you fired the first round and it's landed there, number 1. You've been consistent with your second round, it's landed just above it. But then there's been a slight change of your position. Your firing position, and you've moved slightly. And when you fired 3, 4 and 5, they've gone over to the other side of the target. So that's been caused then by a change in position after the second shot. Quite self-explanatory, the split group. Let's go on to the third group then, the third pattern if you like, the vertical pattern. And there you can see shots 1 fairly close to the centre, 2's at the top, 3's down the bottom, 4's gone up again, and 5's near the centre again, near number 1. And that's the vertical pattern. What's caused that? Well, that's probably down to changing your eye relief and inconsistent aiming. So the eye relief is the distance between your eyeball and the rear of your telescopic sight. If you vary that, you're going to affect where your shots fall. So again, it's down to consistency. Keep the eye relief distance between your eye and the rear of your scope the same. Inconsistent aiming. And that will cause your vertical pattern. Again, you can't really zero from that. It's too spread. Okay, let's go on to the fourth pattern then, which is the diagonal group. Again, you can see rounds 1, then 2 out there, then 3 down the bottom, then 4 nearly up the ball, and finally 5 up the top there. The diagonal group. What's caused that? That's been caused by that your head not being upright and the inconsistent hold of the trigger hand. So your head needs to be upright looking down. So if you tilt your head to left or right, then that's what you're going to get. Now that can go in either direction. In this case, you can see the groups going from the bottom left really across the target to the top right. If your head was tilted the other way, you'd get the vertical group going in the other direction. But that's, like I say, has been caused by your head not being upright and inconsistent hold by the trigger hand. So if you're right-handed, your right hand around the trigger, around the pistol grip rather, on your rifle has been inconsistent. Again, can't emphasize enough with grouping, it's consistency, keeping the same position, the same hold, the same steady breathing, the same head position, the same eye relief. All that has to be taken into account on each shot you fire to get a good group. Okay, we've gone to the last one that I've got for you, and that's the up and left of POA. POA being the point of aim. Point of aim obviously is the center of the target. So what's caused this? You can see that round 1 has struck quite near the center, 2 just below, then 3, 4 and 5 sort of veer off and up to the left. What's caused that is gradually your first and second shots haven't done bad, but then your third, fourth and fifth, the butt of your rifle has gradually started to slip out of your shoulder, and that's what's caused the inconsistency. So again, as I keep saying, it's all about consistency, keeping the same hold, the butt in the shoulder, not allow it to slip between shots. Maybe you're firing off the rounds too fast, and there's no rush. Control your breathing, take your time. So a quick recap then. We've got the wide group, the split group, the vertical pattern, the diagonal group, and lastly there, the up and left of POA, point of aim. It's very important. Try to remember that consistency with shooting is the key. Okay, so I hope that helped you a little bit. If you want me to talk more about grouping, zeroing and things like that for your air rifle shooting, I'm talking mainly about air rifle, but again, these groups, these patterns that I've just shown you, these are applicable to rimfire and centerfire rifles, but I'm doing mostly about air rifles at the moment. If you want more of that sort of stuff, I can bang some up. Anyway, at the end, you always know there's going to be one. Top tabbing tip, top tabbing tip, top tabbing firearm shooting tips. Okay, today's tip, remember this one. Incoming fire has the right of way. Remember that one, guys. Thanks. Give us a thumbs up if you can. Subscribe if you can. Thanks for your support so far, guys. Till the next time. Let's tab.